Hi everybody, Honest John here. Now before I begin, I have some shout outs to do. Some people I need to thank because they are supporting me, and that not only is very helpful, but it just makes me feel good. So first there are my two Patreon sponsors. Joe Stevenson, also known as Serious Mind, has a really good channel here on YouTube. I don't think he's made many videos lately, but good stuff. You might want to check him out. And Carl Anthony is another one of my supporters on Patreon. And I got a new supporter, not on Patreon, but at a site called Buy Me a Coffee. So Steven Suzuka, thank you very much for your support too. Now, let's get down to business. Since the election, while Donald Trump falsely claimed victory, Joe Biden told the American people to remain calm and patient while the votes were counted. While Trump engaged in lies about the election process and filed frivolous lawsuits with absolutely no basis in fact, Joe Biden has reached out to the other side, talking about the need to lower the temperature, put emotion aside, and he called for unity. And he has quietly begun the work of transitioning to the presidency, even though Trump has refused to cooperate with the transition. Biden has handled himself admirably, even as he has been confronted with the lack of class and complete lack of patriotism that is characteristic of Donald Trump and many of his supporters. For him, it's not about what's good for America. It's about a spoiled rich kid not getting his way. Now, so far, credit where it's due, while most Americans celebrated in the streets, Trump fans have mostly stayed quiet. Some of them have protested, very small protests. And so far, those protests have been loud, but mostly peaceful. And though Biden's calls for unity have been admirable, I'm going to have to be the guy that throws a little bit of cold water on that. Now, while there are principled conservatives, most of whom have broken away from Trump, that I could engage in reasonable dialogue with and reach agreements and compromises and a certain level of unity with them, I have no interest in uniting or compromising with racists, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, or the KKK. You can't compromise with hate. You certainly don't want to unify with it. You can't accommodate it. You can't look the other way. You can only face it and fight against it. I also have no interest in meeting right-wing religious fanatics halfway. They simply have to be stopped in their tracks. What they want to do is impose their religious beliefs on me and the millions of Americans who don't believe the same thing they do. Compromising with them would be no different than compromising with ISIS or Al-Qaeda. And then there are the stupid, ignorant, and the unreasonable, science deniers, conspiracy theorists like QAnon, these kind of folks. They are dangerous, they can't be trusted, and you can't give them any credit. You can't even pretend that there's any credibility in what they say. And then there are the people who refuse to wear masks, who insist it violates their constitutional right. We're in the middle of a deadly pandemic with hundreds of thousands of people dead. We don't have time to try to convince them. And by the way, there is no constitutional right to infect other people. They must be forced to wear masks or stay home. They should not be allowed to enter the workplace or businesses or even public spaces without wearing masks. Penalties should begin with an escalating series of fines. And finally, jail time if the fines don't work. Or if they refuse to pay the fines. So once they're in jail, then they don't have to wear a mask. They get their wish and we're protected from them. So even though Joe Biden is doing the right thing by reaching out and trying to unify the country, unfortunately there are a lot of people that would make that a waste of time and effort. Thanks for listening.